I tried turning Wednesday into a game and it went horribly wrong. The cello playing outcast really captivated my little sister, and since I develop games in my spare time, I decided to turn the show into a game for her. The idea was simple. I took Wednesday, the monster, some interesting places and slapped it onto Temple Run with a unique twist to create Crypt Walk. Luckily I have better friends than jokes, so while one of them created the environment, I could focus on the basic features like movement and runtime generated tiles. Since I've never done mobile game development in Unreal, I needed a few tries, but after that the base was done. Or that's what I thought. So after encountering the small scaling issue, I decided to refuel my brain with a cup of coffee and the forest started to look like a forest. However, besides that collectible, nothing reminded me of Wednesday, and since my friend had enough to do with the other parts of the map, I gathered some references and started Blender myself. To make things simple, I tried out the skin modifier and the result looked better than I thought, at least after applying the right texture. The model is still not the best, but since Wednesday always looks half dead, I guess the missing face is just fine. With a bit of fantasy, you could even recognize her from the silhouette, and in combination with the hand and her backpack, you definitely see the similarities. However, Unreal Engine didn't seem to like Wednesday too much. But what would game development be without all those unexpected behaviors, right? Anyways, I got her up and running while my friend finished the crypt for this awesome intro scene. It even runs on mobile without melting the phone, so it's time to bring the game to the next level. Some of the obstacles can be dodged in multiple ways, and with the implemented swipe buffering, it was quite fun to run around until I crashed into the woods. However, nobody would run like that without a reason, so let's add the chaser. As you can tell, this is one of my questionable creations again, and unfortunately Unreal didn't help to put it into a better light. In the end, the monster was recognizable enough, and since it appears in the cutscene only, I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I thought the right dance animation would be way more important, so I used all my charm to recruit another friend of mine as an animator. Neither of us expected him to be able to animate anything else than a rock, but for 2 days of learning, he did a pretty good job. Actually, he did a better job than I did at creating these tiles for the map, but through doing some stuff myself, I could finally start to implement the changing environment. We start at the crypt and run through the forest until the gate is reached. After that, the way turns into gravel and nevermore appears a bit later. You get chased through the school to Wednesday's room, where you have to break the window in order to complete the first round. It'll provide a coin multiplier, and if you're wondering what these coins can be used for, have a look at that. You can not only unlock Enid, but also Full Moon. Those of you who saw the last episode might know what happens when both are combined, but for the rest I'll keep it a little secret. With the game loop done, I had to implement the most important thing. Coincidentally, I've been learning to play the cello, so I sat down, grabbed my bow and got some interesting noises. Even though the sounds weren't the best, I really liked the idea of playing some sort of melody while collecting coins, but the actual cello version of Painted Black was way too complex for me. Or was it? Yes, it was, so I recorded separate notes and glued it together. The first result wasn't too bad, but it needed some adjustment. First, I had to get rid of the jump and slide sound, since it didn't fit the melody, and after rearranging the spawn points, it was quite addictive to get the melody right. This extra task made the game way more challenging and gave it the unique twist I mentioned in the beginning, since it kinda feels like one of those piano games, but in bad. Anyways, the last thing I had to do before installing the game on my sister's phone was to appreciate the work my friends have done. All in all, it was fun to learn more about mobile game development, but I am glad that I can finally return to my main project. And if you want to learn more about it, or indie game development in general, check out those videos. Other than that, thanks a lot for watching and have a bad one.